Hi everyone, I hope you're all still doing great. We're going to work on some more math again today, and just like last time, we're going to work on telling time. So the last time we did a lesson, we were working on telling time to the hour. Well, today we're going to be a little bit different. We're going to tell time to the half hour. Okay, so let's review some things. First of all, we're going to use this clock, which you know is my favorite clock. It's called a Judy clock because we can work with the different hands and move them around to the times that we need. So this is a Judy clock, and a Judy clock tells the analog time. So this is the analog time, and when it looks like this, it's called digital time. So we're going to work on both analog and digital time again today for telling time to the half hour. Okay? So let's also review the hands on a clock. Okay? The shorter hand, once again, is called the hour hand, and the longer hand is called the minute hand. So last time when we were telling time to the hour, we remembered that the hour hand is directly on the number, this one here, when it goes to the hour, and the minute hand is directly on the 12. It's on the 12 because it's showing 0 minutes. It hasn't moved on to the next minute. If it was 2:01, it would be over here. 2:02, 2:03, 2:04, 2:05. Remember, in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So the minute hand has to make its way all the way around the clock for 60 minutes to make it to the next hour. Okay? There are 60 minutes in an hour, and there are 60 seconds in a minute. Just some things for you to remember, okay? So now we're going to work on telling time to the half hour. Half hour means it is 30 minutes because 1 whole hour is 60 minutes, so half of an hour is 30 minutes, okay? So if it's to the half hour, let's see how many minutes that is on a clock. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Remember, we said 30 minutes is half of 60 minutes. So if we're saying telling time to the half hour, we're talking about 30 minutes later. And that's represented on the clock over here on the number 6. If you can see nice and closely here in the Judy clock, it even shows you that it is 30 minutes. We count by 5s easily on here because each number here represents 5 minutes. Because if you can see nice and closely here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each little line here shows you 1 minute. And by the time we get to the next number, that's 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes. That's 15 minutes. That's 20 minutes. That's 25 minutes. That's 30 minutes. So remember, working on telling time to the half hour. Okay? So let's see what that means here. If we were starting off here, let's do 1:30. We have 1 o'clock, and to make it 1:30, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move the minute hand down to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So what's different this time is the hour hand is not directly on the 1. It's not directly on the 1 because it is moving to the next hour. This hour hand wants to keep moving until it gets to the next hour. It's starting off at 1 and it wants to move to the 2 o'clock hour. So just the same way, I'm going to show you again that the minute hand is moving, that the hour hand is moving, the minute hand is moving too. They work together. If you notice, the minute hand's moving and it's causing the hour hand to move. So we can see when it is 1:30, the hour hand is after the 1. It's halfway between the 1 and the 2. just like it's halfway to the next hour, okay? So it should be after the 1. And you know, if you're in my class, we always remind each other when we're using our Judy clocks that it has to be after the 1, after the 1. That's what we always say in class. I hope you remember that. So it is after the 1. It's halfway to the next number. And the minute hand is down here on the 6. So this time shows 1:30. That's the time here on the analog clock. So let's see what it looks like on the digital clock. This is 1:30. And I'm going to write it here on the whiteboard to show you what 1:30 looks like digitally. So once again, the hour is 1, and the minutes are 30, 1:30. We have it here, analog time 1:30, digital time 1:30, okay? So let's keep going and let's try some more times to the half hour. So I'm going to keep moving on in my clock. I've made it to 2 o'clock here, and I want to make it down to 2:30, to the half hour. 2:30, let's look here. Our hour hand is after the 2. It's halfway between the 2 and the 3. And the minute hand is down here on the 6, showing that 30 minutes have passed. So this is 2:30. Make sure that hour hand is not on the 2. It wants to be after the 2, halfway between the 2 and the 3. 2:30. Okay, if we're writing it digitally, we would write it like this, showing 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2:30. 2 hours, 30 minutes. 2:30, 2:30. It's the same thing. Okay? So if you were looking on your phone, if you were looking on your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, whatever it is you're looking at, your digital watch, this is the time it would say. It would say 2:30. And if you were looking at a clock, most likely on your wall, because a lot of times at your house, if you go to stores, schools, other places, you don't see all the time digital clocks. You see analog clocks like this. So it's good to know how to tell the difference between the times, okay? This is 2:30. So let's move on. We got to 3 o'clock. And down here at 3:30. Once again, the hour hand is after the 3. It's halfway between the 3 and the 4. And the minute hand is down here on the 6, showing 30 minutes have passed. Let's keep going. We have 4 o'clock. And that minute hand wants to get down 30 minutes. And we have 4:30. It's not 5:30. This is what I know a lot of times in class it gets a little bit tricky. But remember, if you were looking at this time and if you weren't sure if it was 4:30 or 5:30, remember like we talked about in class, it made its way to the 4, but did the hour hand make its way to the 5 yet? No, it didn't make its way to the 5 yet. So it can't be 5:30 yet because the hour hand did not get to the 5 yet. So it's still 4:30. Okay, let's keep making our way. Look at that hour hand making its way to the 5. So now it is 5 o'clock. And let's get it down to 5:30. Once again, the hour hand is after the 5, and it's halfway to the 6, but it's not to the 6 yet. So it's 5:30. That minute hand is down here on the 6. So now let's keep going around the clock. We have 6 o'clock and 6:30. Now you may notice down here, this looks like a tricky time to tell because The hour hand and the minute hand are very close together down here. So you can see the hour hand is already made its way to the 6. It's almost to the 7, but is it to the 7 yet? No, it's not. So that means it is 6:30. Let's keep going. The minute hand's going around. It went from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, so it got to that next hour because 60 minutes later is a new hour. So we have over here 7 o'clock. Let's get down to 7:30. Didn't make its way to the 8 yet, so it's still 7:30. Anytime it is 30 minutes past the hour, that minute hand will always be on the 6. Okay, so let's keep going. We have 8 o'clock and we have 8:30. Okay, remember the hour hand is after the 8. Don't forget that. It's halfway between the 8 and 9. And the minute hand is down here on the 6. Let's see how to write that digitally. So we have 8:30 here on the analog clock. So if you were reading it on your digital clock, it would look like this. Nice and easy to read it on a digital clock. 8:30. The first number here represents the hour, remember? And the last 2 digits here represent the minutes. So we have 8:30. 8:30, 8:30. Okay? So let's keep making our way around the clock. We have 8:30. Let's see that minute hand and hour hand. Want to keep going. It made its way around the full 60 minutes. It's a new hour. So we have 9 o'clock. And we have 9:30. Once again, minute hands down here on the 6 showing 30 minutes have passed. That hour hand did not make it to the 10 yet. It's still on the 9 o'clock hour. Let's keep going. We have 10 o'clock. And you guessed it, we now have 10:30. Look at that hour hand. It's after the 10. And the minute hand is down here on the 6, showing 10:30. Let's keep making its way around here. We have 11 o'clock. Make sure it's right there on the 12. And we have 11:30. Always going to be down here on the 6 when it's 30 minutes after the hour. So let's keep going. After 11:30, we have 12 o'clock when it gets to the hour. Remember, when it's 12 o'clock, both the hour and minute hand are facing the 12. Let's keep going. Finally, we have 12:30. Remember, that hour hand is after the 12. It's halfway between the 12 and the 1. And the minute hand is down here on the 6. So let's write that one digitally too. We have 12:30 here to show digitally. So all we need to do for that to show it digitally is the hour is 12, the minutes are 30. 12:30. So once again, 12:30 on the analog clock, 12:30 here digitally. Okay? So I hope you keep practicing at home with it. Keep looking on walls wherever you're going to see what the analog clock is, and make sure that you can tell time to the half hour. Okay? Keep practicing. You're doing a great job.